Welcome back, all you OGs out there. Whether you're an online gamer, an original gangster, just an old geezer like me, this is Julie, 1961 for Old Gamers Never Die. And hey, we're back on Ark Ascended and on Scorched Earth. And what we're going to cover in this video today is my top 10 mods for quality of life in Ark Ascended. Now, you can use these on any map, so it's not just specifically for Scorched that these are good, but these are mods that I like to use on my servers, and really it's because of several things. One, I feel like they're immersive. They don't break the feel I have for the game. So my opinion, if y'all watch my videos, you know I don't like tech. I just don't like it. It doesn't fit for me and my gaming eye for this game, but hey, if it does for you, great. Have fun with it. Enjoy it. I don't even use it in my game as far as when I'm playing either in single player or in the servers. So I want it to be immersive. That's the first thing that I want of a mod that's quality of life. And then I also want it to be customizable. I want to be able to set it up my way. And that goes for the people playing on a server too. So there's some admin settings that are fine, but I also want to be able to have the people that are playing on my servers be able to set things up within the bounds that I've set up for the servers so that they can kind of customize their game too. I also want to make sure that the mods play well with other mods. So there are some mods that just cancel each other out, and that's just annoying. So the mods that I'm featuring in this video are all going to be mods that work together. They don't cause other mods to lock up. They don't cause the game to lock up. And they just make the game more fun to play. If you're hardcore and you just want the most difficult experience playing Ark that you can get, then these mods are probably not for you. But if you do want to be able to have a little bit of fun and just have some things work easier, especially if you're playing solo, then when you're playing, you want to use the time that you have to get the most out of the game. And I think these mods do that. So let's start out with one that I use. I can see a sandstorm coming in. This is not going to be good. So we may have to cut and come back. But this mod is called Where Are the Bodies? If you've been out here and gotten killed, which you have if you played more than 5 minutes of this game, especially on Scorched Earth, and then you go looking for your backpack or your body, it's hard to find. The death thing that ASA gives us is minimal at best. So this mod will actually help you find your stuff. Not only your stuff, but other stuff like bags that maybe an animal got killed and left a bag on the ground, or somebody dropped something and there's a package there that you can pick up. Now this mod is called Where Are the Bodies, and it tells you exactly that. So let's do this. We're gonna go kill ourselves really quick, hopefully before the storm gets here. We're not gonna make it, I can tell it. Okay, I'm dead. Let's respawn at the handy beds that I've placed here. See if we can do this before the storm comes in. Actually, this might be good because it'll tell you how it looks during the storm. So there's the marker you get. Not very helpful, right? And especially when a storm comes in, that'd be really loud. It can get really difficult to find things. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this mod on. You hold down R or PC and you say, where are my bodies? And look at that. Not only does the body show up in brilliant pink and flash in and all that kind of cool stuff, but also a bag I dropped previously, it's going to show up like that. And hey, let's drop something. Let's drop some sand. Look at that. You can't miss it. So much easier than look for this friggin' skull thing. And it doesn't shoot up a beacon. I've tried some beacon mods. They don't play well with this mod, and this mod does so much more because you can see so many things on the ground. And it's really clear and really easy to find. So this is the one I like to use for, recovering my body. Let's get my stuff. Oops, I don't want to pick myself up. Drop. Give me my stuff back, dude. Okay, we got our stuff back. Okay, great. Something else that you can do with this mod, maybe you don't like the flashy stuff. Maybe it's annoying to you. You can, again, hold down R and go into the settings, and you can change this stuff. You can change the colors or whatever it is that's showing up. You can change whether it's filled in, like I've got it, or not, or how much it's filled in. You can change how much it glows. You can change the thickness of the lines, how long it's going to highlight it, and what it'll highlight. Will you want it to pick up eggs, fertilized or unfertilized, all that kind of stuff. You can select this stuff and set up however you want to on your game. That's where are the bodies, and this is a cross-platform mod. You should be able to use it on whatever platform you're using. But anyway, this will help you find your stuff no matter where it is in the game. All right, let's go on to the next one. We'll wait for the storm to go away for the next one. All right, the next mod I got for you is a stacking mod. So there are a bunch of stacking mods out there. And the one I like is the TG stacking mod. There's 3 versions of this mod out there, and it depends on what your playstyle is, on what might be the best suit for you. And it stacks pretty much everything. I like the smallest one, this one here, because to me it's more balanced. You know, your playstyle is what it is. This mod will stack up to 1,000 of most things. If you can see here, Sweet Veggie Cake's only stacked to 500, but you know, you get the point. It stacks a lot of stuff and it gives you a 50% weight reduction. So that's a bonus. That's a nice thing to have. There's also one that's 1,000 in a stack, a 90% weight reduction. And then there's a 10,000 with a 90% weight reduction. But you know, at that point, you don't need storage. You just carry everything in your backpack. So to me, this one seems to be the one that fits my play style more. This is the one that I have on my servers. It seems to work for everybody out there, and it really does help a lot when you can stack things like prime meat, mutton, and things like that that you're not normally able to stack. So that's the stacking mod. Now if you're going to have a stacking mod, you're going to also likely need a spoiling mod. You know, because meat spoils a little bit slower when it's all stacked up like that. And, you know, to avoid the whole thing of splitting stuff out or trying to get things in multiple containers, this is a nice little mod, and it does exactly what it says it's going to do. It boils meat, and it's cheap to make. You actually make this container in your inventory. It is a level 1 engram that costs 0 to click on. Costs you 20 stone, 10 wood, and 7 thatch. So very quickly in the game you can make this, and to me, you know, it also just kind of fits the vibe. And the green color is a little bit standoutish, but hey, you want to make sure you know what's going to happen when you put stuff in here, right? So it's very quick. Get some raw meat, and we're going to drop that in here, and pretty quickly we got raw meat. So almost instant, not quite. You need the meat spoiled, there you go. That's your meat spoiler, and it fits with the decor. Okay, speaking of backpack, so this mod here is just something I really like, and that is Cliffans Backpack. Now, this mod, to me, it really does look right at home in Ark. You know, you got your silly backpacks, but you got some that just look really good. It offers several different varieties of backpacks, so you can do different styles, baskets. And this is the cool thing. There is one in each tier. There are 3 tiers of backpacks that allow you to have a bigger weight reduction for each one that you get. Even from the beginning tier, you can get one of the backpacks and make it fairly quickly and fairly inexpensively, and it has a light on it. You don't have to worry about carrying a torch around. You've got that on, you activate it, and boom, you've got light wherever you're going, whether it's in a cave, whether it's getting around your base in the dark, whatever it is. You don't have to have a torch in your hand. You've got, you know, 2 hands to use for a spear or shotgun or something like that. It works really good. It's not too bright. You can see here, it doesn't overpower you like some torches seem to do in the game, and it really does offer a just kind of immersive look while still giving you some weight reduction. And there's, like I said, there's several different varieties, even down to a fanny pack. So this is one that I like to have on my servers. It gives people some flexibility, and hey, you know, if you're a role player, it just works good with a costume. Okay, the next mod that I want to talk about right now is the Super Cryo Storage. This is a cryo mod, not just a cryo mod. This thing allows you to do a lot of customization. Now, it has an admin feature if you're running your own server that you can set these items here, and there's a bunch. You can scroll down and get more, but you can set this thing up so that some of these are disabled or enabled based on the way you want your server run. So you can leave them all enabled, or you can check off whichever ones you want. And then not just you, but then your players, when they go in, they can set their terminal up to do whatever they want it to do. Maybe they don't want it to auto trap babies, but they do want to collect fertilized eggs. Or maybe they don't want to do that. Maybe they don't want to incubate eggs, but they have the flexibility in their terminal as well. So you get, with the mod, You get a terminal, which is, you know, for me, again, I don't like tech. This stands out like a sore thumb in my base. So if there was one thing I could change about the mod, it would be some way to reskin this so that you could either have a tech version or say, you know, like a workstation, like a more smithy type looking thing, something that would blend with a primitive type style. But hey, you know, it is what it is for now. That terminal will hold your cryoed tames. It will let them do all the things like collect passive resources like Achatina paste or poop. If you have a dung beetle in there, it'll change it to fertilizer, and it will even send fertilizer to your crop plots so that you don't have to mess with that. So it automates a lot of things. Like I said, I can forgive the look of it. I just wish it was a way that I could change it, but you know, it's okay. You get the little Pokeballs to throw out instead of what looks like a cryopod. And hey, the other cool thing is you get a little gun to shoot stuff with to cryo them up. All right, the next mod that I want to go over is the awesome Spyglass, and it is awesome. This is the regular Spyglass. You hold it in your hand, you put it up to your eye, you can see stuff about what it is, but that's about it. When you put on the Super Spyglass, so we have it in our hotbar, I'm gonna hit the 0 button. You can see I now have a reticle that wasn't there before. I can also just point that reticle at anything and I can get a lot more information on that particular dinosaur or tame or wild creature than I got out of the regular Spyglass. I don't have to zoom in, I don't have to do any of that kind of stuff. It just shows me all that. It also shows you up in the left hand corner your lat and long, so you know exactly where you are anytime you want to do things like, you know, make a waypoint. You don't have to guess, you know exactly where you are. It'll also tell you the durability of structures and whether something is powered on. So generator is fueled, it's running. The fabricator is powered, it's not on. It's on now, but it does have power to it. So you can very quickly see in your base if something is a problem. You can find out if maybe something is not within the right parameters or any of that kind of good stuff. The other thing you can do, if you hold down the R button like you did for the Aware of the Bodies and you go to Spyglass, it's going to give you all the settings that you can set on this thing. And let me tell you, you can set a whole lot of stuff. That's the good part about it, because you can pretty much set anything to be on or off. So if you don't like the whole idea of having all this information, well, then you can just turn it off. The other thing that you can do is, if say you want to know about creatures, whether they're hiding in the bush at night or whether they're friendly or foe, you can click this little checkbox here and it's going to give you a character outline. So green is mine. If it's a wild tame, it's going to be white. If it's scared, it's going to be a yellow outline. If it's aggroed on you, it's going to be a red outline. And also things like beehives are going to show up with a red outline. So I don't use this because I like a little bit more challenge to the game, but it's a great way if you're trying to figure out what you want to get and what you don't want to get to be able to pick up on all that stuff. And like I said, you can just turn all this stuff off. If you think, hey, you know, that's cheating to know all about the dinos that you're after, you can just turn all this stuff off. But it's got players, it's got everything about the dino that you could possibly want to know. The other thing it will also do is it'll tell you what it needs to have to be tamed based on what the server is currently set to. So when you go look at a wild animal, let's go change all, let's turn all this stuff on again. And let's go out into the world. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about when I'm saying it's going to tell you what it is you need to tame something with. All right, so we have all of our stuff showing up green. There's a neutral that's showing up white. Let's go out here and see if we can make something mad at us. See, I've got everything there, and it also tells me everything I need to tame that creature right now. Let's go see if we can make him mad. There he goes. He turned red, he's after me, and now I know what's mad at me, and he's not mad anymore. So a lot of things that you can find out in the Spyglass that you wouldn't be able to access with the regular Spyglass. Let's go over here to this beacon. Beacon's not down yet. Okay, so the beacon is coming down. And I can't see what's in it. But now, as soon as it lands, I can tell you exactly what's in there. If it's something that I want, which in this case I really do. Hop down, grab it real quick, back on my bird, and get the heck out of here. So yeah, so that's helpful there. And like I said, in the ASE version, you could actually see what was in it as it was coming down, so that made it even nicer. But damn, this is pretty cool. And then the other thing that is different, if you've played ASE before and now you're playing this, my understanding, I don't use the outlines a lot, so I'll have to defer to other people on my server who do, but I don't believe you can see anything underwater when you're flying over it like you used to be able to. So, see any fish? Where it used to be, see there's coelacanths over there, and I can target them, but they don't, the outline doesn't show up anymore. It used to show up an outline if it was in the water even. So there's a couple of differences from the ASE version, but nothing that would say this is not as good. I mean, I like a little bit of surprise anyway, so I don't usually turn the outlines on to begin with. That's up to you, what you want to do. Like I said, the one of the things that I like about the mods that I have chosen here is that they're very customizable and that they are something that you can set up the game the way you want to play it. Okay, awesome Spyglass. So now let's talk about our next mod on the list. These are basically the order that I would say I like them the most. Basically, but they're all good. These are solid mods. Okay, so let's talk about the next one, and that is going to be, of course, if you're going to talk about quality of life, you want the Quality of Life Plus mod. The Quality of Life mod, there's a few things you can make in your inventory that are nice to haves. Okay, so I don't use these a lot. There are other people on the servers that tend to like them, so they use them quite a bit, but let's go ahead and use this one. We're gonna put that down there, and then where's the gun? I thought I made the gun too. Maybe I didn't. Crafting, where's the gun? I can make that. There's the gun. All right, so we're going to use these two things. So for number 9, here's where I can do things like transferring items from one place to another. So you've got a way to, you know, kind of move from one crafting station or storage location to another without having to move each one of the things. So just a nice way to get stuff moved around in your base. Okay, so then you have the gun, which is, I think if I hold down R, so I have, if I hold down R here, I can select whether I want to fix something, whether I want to work on the structure, whether I want to work on the dino. Let's do dino. Okay, so when you click on each one of these items, so structure mode, you can pick up or demolish. Dino mode, you can kill, spay, you can turn your item into a chibi, you can toggle mating, you can toggle ignore whistles, all those kind of things you would typically do a whistle for. Remote mode means you can activate or deactivate doors, and repair modes means you can fix stuff. So let's go over here, and we're going to, instead of killing this wolf, we're going to chibify it. Just to see what happens. Where you see the sights, you can see we're going to spay this dino, chibify this dino. Mating, turn it on and off. Whistles, turn it on and off. Following, all that kind of good stuff. So let's get back to chibify. Let's see what happens. Boom. Okay, now let's go to our inventory. There's our chibi. We now have a chibi. We're going to stick this chibi right here. There's no guarantee what it's going to look like. So just because it looked gray in the animal that I chibified doesn't mean it's going to be gray in here. So we're going to hit, don't care about the name. Let's find out what our, oh, look at him. He's blue. Well, now I have a little wolf chibi that's blue and white, I think. Oh. So yeah, you can tell I don't use this a lot, but it is there. This is the stuff that I use. So let's head over to my demonstration area, and you can see all the things that you can build with the quality of life stuff. Okay, so I've set up this little testing area to kind of give you an idea of the next 3 mods on what you can build with each one of them. Some of them are more high-tech than others, and so we'll just go over. Quality of life is probably the more high-tech of all of them. It's going to be very similar to what you see in regular Ark. So let's go ahead and look at it. So here we have a regular storage box, and here we have the quality of life storage box. So you can see here in this one, I can put 15 things in here. In the quality of life one, I can put 30. So much better storage for a small container, especially early in the game where that's what you're going to be putting stuff in. Okay, so doubling the storage there. If you go to the bigger storage box, then you have 45 slots in this one, and in the quality of life one you've got 90 slots. So again, doubling your money for the resources. It costs the same to make either one, so there you go. The other thing the quality of life will have is a hitching post, so you can hitch your tames to it and keep them where they're supposed to be. If you want to have them mating and you don't want them to get run off by everything that comes in the base, then instead of putting them on passive, you hitch them to the boat. There is also a quality of life torch and wall torch. I will warn you, these are very bright, but they do not require any fuel, and they come on at sundown and go off and sun up. It would be nice if you could change the settings, but there's no settings to change. So maybe that's a future update, but right now I can't adjust the brightness of this, and it really is bright, especially if you put several of these in your base. You won't notice it until you get in render range, and it'll look like everything is on fire. It's so bright at night. So yeah, I think there's some work to be done on these. I don't use them in my base because they're just too bright. Then there is the preserving bin. If you look, this one will hold 48 items, and this one will hold 50. So a couple more. But yeah, a couple more may get you where you need to be. That should be as cool. All right, metal box. I don't know what happened to the texturing on this. They need to do some work on that. It will hold 100 items, so not much more than your storage box down there, and it still kind of needs work. But hey, whatever you want. It also introduces some things from the structured plus or super structures, which is the nanny, the gardener, and the I think she's the gardener and he's the farmer. But yeah, same type of thing. You set these up and they will either harvest your veggies or make sure that they're fertilized, or you can have this nanny will imprint your tames and things like that. With superstructures, you can change the clothes on these guys so that they be more, you know, aligned with what you wanted to have in your base. There is a function here for dermis, but I cannot make it work. What's going on here? Oh, whoa. Can't have this. There. I wonder what was going on. Okay. All right, so anyway, back to the action here. Anyway, so there you go. You've got a nanny that will take care of your babies. You've got a gardener that will take care of your crops, and you've got a farmer, vice versa. Well, this is the farmer who will take care of your crops, and this is the gardener that makes sure everything is put in refrigeration and such. So there you go. There's also a domesticated beehive, so you can get a bunch of materials and make this. So you'll need honey, you'll need rare flowers and things like that, but once you make it, you put rare flowers in here and it will make honey, and you don't have to worry about getting stung by bees. There is a version of the feeding trough. The regular vanilla trough will hold 60 items. The QOL one will hold 100 items, and they'll last a little bit longer in here than they will in the regular trough. Here's where things get interesting. Okay, so here's the regular vanilla fabricator. Don't you love that sound? Running in your base all the time, day and night. No, we don't love that. Here is what the QOL fabricator sounds like. Nothing. So you don't have to worry about it. It's running and it's silent. Awesome. All right, then we have the refrigerators. So you have a version of the fridge. I'm not understanding why it doesn't light up. They're both powered, and the standard holds 80 and the QOL holds 100. Again, a little bit more storage for your space requirements. It takes the same resources to build both. The next is your ACs. There is the normal AC, and there's some storage here, 2 slots of storage. Oh, why does it say base storage box? Okay, well, whatever. So yeah, so there's the regular AC. There is the QOL AC, There's a little bit of difference in the size of the two, but that's really all that I have seen, other than it seems like the QOL one has a little bit better range around it than the regular one. So there's no indicator that I can turn on to show you that. So you just have to take my word for it. But I can hatch eggs with fewer of these than I need of these. So that's a plus. Honestly, if you put 3 of these in, you can hatch pretty much anything you want to. All right, that's just a Jenny to make sure everything's powered. So let's go around to the other side. Here we have the converter table. So this will convert any vanilla, a lot of modded items, into the QOL version of the same thing. So it doesn't work on everything. It does work on vanilla, but some of the modded stuff it doesn't work on, but it will change into a QOL thing. So if you take a vanilla fabricator and put it in here, it's now going to be solid. So there you go. This QOL blueprint maker will allow you to create blueprints of things that you put in here. This only works for construction things. It does not really work for weapons and armor and things like that, which maybe they'll fix that and make it work that way. It was nice when the superstructures mod I use for ASE would let you make blueprints out of things that you found in the world. So if you wanted a really good Ascendant Rex saddle and you found one at a drop, you could put it in here and make a blueprint out of it. This doesn't let you do that as of right now. This container here contains ammo. It will allow you to send ammo to turrets that are in range. So you can make sure you can set it up so that it'll refill those, and you know, keep your turrets running. I don't use a lot of turrets because I'm playing PvE, and I use dinos to keep my base safe. But whatever you want to do. So that's those things. Let's talk about other big pieces of equipment. So we have the vanilla grinder and the quality of life grinder. Smaller footprint. And if we turn that on, again, a wonderful sound to have running in your base all the time. Turn this one on. The only thing you'll hear is when you're actually grinding something, you'll hear the grinding noise, and that is it. Now, the other cool thing about this one is the QOL one does some conversions that do not happen in the vanilla one. You can convert rare mushrooms and wood to fungal wood. You can convert crystal to gems. You can make gas balls. So those are the aberration content. You can do the regular stuff, although, you know, you can make sap and that which you normally don't make. Extinction, you can make biotoxin and element dust. Element dust will require some element. Genesis, you've got the shell fragments and the chitin meat. You can pretty much spoil stuff, and then for scorched earth you've got all this cool stuff. So this will allow you to convert some of the items in your particular map to some of the items that are on other maps that you don't have to have a cluster to be able to get to those things. And then we have the QOL industrial forge. Now I don't have the other industrial forge up to compare them to because they're the same size, they do the same stuff. I could not see where one did better than the other, but they cost the same, and if you want to have all QOL stuff, knock yourself out, there's an ND Forge. There is also tech storage, so you got dedicated storage, regular and dedicated storage for the QOL. The QOL also comes with this little handy dandy feature here that will allow you to transfer stuff off of your dinos, off of yourself, and pop things into things that are in range. So there's a plus on the storage features. Two things on QOL that are not on vanilla is this mutator, and it will cause nearby dinos to lay mutated eggs or give birth to mutated offspring. So if you're looking for mutations, this would be something you would be interested in if you're breeding in mutations into your stock, as it were. And then you have the propagator, which breeds dinos from cryopods. So you put your cryopods in here, and now you can breed your dinos that way instead of having to have the actual animals out breeding them. It will also allow you to change genders and do things like that. So another unique piece of equipment that is not part of the vanilla items. There is also a tech replicator versus the vanilla. I, again, could not see any difference in the two. So they both holds 600 things. They have the same health, everything like that. So that's the QOL stuff. And if that's something you're interested in doing, like I said, I've run this on my server because there are a lot of people that want the QOL things and like the way it's set up. All right, so let's talk about the next mod in this bunch, and that is visual storage. Now, visual storage gives you a lot of options that will put stuff where you want it to be, and it look cool. So you have, you know, this version that's a bin. You've got a shed, and you can change these when you pick them up and put them down. Now, I've got them full of stuff because that's an option. But let's see. Let's pick this guy up. See what happens. Withdraw. I don't want to withdraw stuff. I want to pick it up. Probably gonna put all kind of fiber in my system. There it is. There's the fiber. Okay, so when I get ready to place it down, like most items in the construction, why is it doing this? Let's hit Q so we can put it where we want to. Okay, so here's the thing. You can, if you look down above the hotbar, you've got selections where you can hit R and we can do fiber, or we can do metal, we can do rocks, we can do thatch, wood, any of those things. And whatever we do, that's what that container will hold. And we're having another storm. A sandstorm again. We'll be back right after this message. Okay, storm's over. Yeah, so we have our bin here, and if I was in creative mode, I could click a button and it would fill it up. But yeah, you get the idea. You come over here, and if you have metal in your system, let's put this in here. Nope. Oh, you know what? It's interesting. Let's give myself some metal. Hope it works because I'm now overloaded. All right, so there's 1,000 metal. There we go. And we got metal in here. And see, it even has a visual depiction of what it is that we just stuck in there. You fill it up, it'll be overflowing like the wood stack. So yeah, each one of these you can set up the same way. As you're getting ready to place it, hit R, you can select whatever materials you want to put in there, and that's what it will take. And it will only take that. So it makes it really nice when you're hitting the move all stuff, that it will move. You can hit the move all button and it's only going to move the stuff that you want to put in there. That's one way to fill it up. So we have the woodshed, which could be, you know, other stuff. We have these little wire bins that I've got full of crystal. Again, you can change that up. There's a pallet that allows you to stack things like metal ingots. Again, you can choose what you want to put in there. There's little buckets. This one I've set up for angler gel, but you can put things like narco in here. Then there's the barrels. You can, again, change these up for spark powder or gunpowder or charcoal or those kind of things. There is a storage shelf, and on that storage shelf, you can put these little boxes. These boxes will, you can fill up, again, designated storage. So this one's set up for pearls. That one's set up for, looks like element. That one's set up for polymer. That's black pearls, and that's electronics. So you can see really quick as you're filling these things up what's in there, and that's really cool. If that's something that's interesting to you, it's great for RPers, I think. This one's full of chitin. This is the box. You can set this up for being different things like chitin or fiber or hide or things like that. With that little R indicator, there's also a barrel that you can set for oil or gas or other things like that that would go into a barrel. There is a rack that you can place on a wall, and this one's got hide on it. You can put fiber, you can put all kind of things on here, and it will allow you to just visually see what you have going on here. So that's the thing about this mod, is it really doesn't do anything as far as your storage goes. I mean, you've still got, if you wanted to have one of these for everything, you'd have to have 5 different bins, right? So you have to have a lot of room to put it in. But if you want your base to look kind of cool and have everything like lined up with this kind of individual visual type of thing going on, then here's the mod for you to do it with. Now, here's the real big deal about this mod. These two things right here. So let's start with this one. This is a drop box. You can put this anywhere in your base, and it has a range. So let's see if we can turn the range on. Oh, here we go, range. Boop. That's the range. Pretty freaking big, right? So anywhere in that circle, you can set this box up to be your distribution point. So if you want to say, I want to put metal in that metal storage bin, all you got to do is hold down here, and you want to say distribution menu, and I want to put metal. Where's metal? Metal would be, you know, in the order that it would go. And then it'll let you pick where you want to put this metal. You can pick several different places for it to go. If you want it all to go in the metal bin, you click there, and there 100% is going in there. If you want some to go into your fabricator, you can do that. The cool thing is this picks up things like other mod stuff. There's the QOL fabricator. So this allows you to just kind of go in, you hit E, you fill it up, you hit E again, and it goes where it's supposed to go. And this is all the stuff I put in here because just things that I'd picked up. But this is, I mean, it is awesome. I keep one right next to my grinder, and that way I can just kind of grind, pull it out, drop it in here, and hit E, and it goes to all the places that I want it to go to. It's amazing. Now, cooler still is this thing, because this thing, let's turn this off. Oh, that's not the thing to turn it off. Turn this off. This, I'm gonna get more stuff. We're gonna get another storm. Are you serious? Okay, so we'll do this real quick. This allows you to unload your critters. Again, there's the range. You pull your dino up in here and you can unload your wyvern, all the crap that's in it, because we know if you've got a wyvern, you're gonna have it full of crap, right? There you go. Pull up here and it will unload your stuff and do just like the drop box. It'll distribute it to wherever you want it to go. Amazing. I love it. It's big, but you know, there's bigger stuff like the tech replicator that you might want to have in your base. This is more primitive. It looks like something that would be just somebody put it together because they were stranded on an ark. So there's that. Okay, I think we're done with the storm. Let's go back to work here. Okay, so the next mod that I wanted to cover is this one, primitive weaponry and Tranqs. This is cool. This is kind of like right up my alley because the maker of the mod, Frenchie, who also made the next one that we're going to cover as my #1 mod that I really, really love. The intent here was to take and build a, not really replacement, an alternative to firearms that's more primitive looking. So you go in here, you get the opportunity to make, and somebody's going to say, well, it's OP. Well, not really. You can make a regular hunter bow, you can make a journeyman hunter bow, and you can make an ascendant hunter bow. Look at, this is the percent damage that you're going to do with these. So like a rifle or sniper rifle, now you got a bow that can rival those. You don't have to have a bulky crossbow. You can have a bow, and it will basically get you to a point where you can use the bow to replace a rifle. That's a cool concept, and it works. It works really well. Now, if you go in here, these things are not cheap, and these resources are also something you have to craft in this bench. So if I want to make one of these, I've got to make resources here, and I'm going to have to make abrasive paper, which is obsidian and glue. To get glue, I've got to make that out of fiber and raw fish meat. And then if I want to make the if I need the cloth, I've got to use regular sap and fiber. So it's not free. You got to go out and get this stuff to make these resources, to then make both the arrows, and you're using metal ingots, you're using abrasive paper, fiber, wood, and then you're going to make a narcotic arrow, you got to have regular arrow plus 5 narcos for each one of these. So they are more potent, not crazy more potent, but they're more potent, and with the quality of your bow, it makes it even better. You do have to do some work for these, which I think is right. I mean, it's more balanced that way. It's not just here's a weapon that you can use and knock out everything in one shot, which is like the tech bow. The tech bow is just stupid OP. I mean, I don't even think it's worth using because it's an instant knockout. And that, again, another reason why I don't really like tech is it just gets too over the top for me. So anyway, so that's it. You build this station and you can make these things, and it does make a difference. If this is the style you want to do, if you're role playing, or if you just like the primitive way to play, this is one of the best weapons mods that I think is out there. There are some other ones. Cliffan has several weapons mods that will rival this. I didn't include them in this review because I haven't used them. I've seen them out there and I've looked at some of the pictures gangsters, but I haven't actually used them. These mods that are in here are mods that I use or have used. Okay, so now let's talk about the number one mod. This is the one that I really just knocked my socks off the first time I saw it. And I was like, oh man, this is freaking amazing. All right, starting off, primitive stations. And the first thing you're going to do is you make this primitive vase. And in this primitive vase is where you make everything. The bed. Look at the bed. Is that not cool? It doesn't look like something in a prison camp. This is a cool looking bed. And it's cheap. 1 wood. That's all it takes. 1 wood. So, you know, gone are the days where you have to run around and try to find hide and everything else when you're trying to get started. If you can make the vase, which is, let's see, primitive vase, where does it say what it is? Did I turn my tooltips off? There we go. 50 stone. 50 stone I collect and I can make this vase. And if I make the vase, I can make stuff in it, which is the bed, 1 wood. Perfect. It does require a foundation, I think. So 1 bed, 1 wood. Cool beans. All right, then cooking, you've got the different cooking stations. We're going to talk about those and all the different things that you have here. So there's some furniture. There's a rug. You know, it's a rug. There is an end table and some torches. We're going to get back to the torches. Let's go down the path here. Here is the preserving bin. So just like the preserving bins down here, the wooden ones right there, this is a preserving bin. Doesn't it look cool? And it holds 48 things, so much like the vanilla version, and that's what you'll see in these. They work like the vanillas, so they're not trying to be crazy OP. Most take the same crafting requirements as the vanilla. Like I said, the bed's kind of easy peasy, but hey, when you're just getting started out and you need a bed, that's the way to go. Anyway, so that is a preserving bin. It looks really cool. I really like the way it looks. Okay, so here are the generators. That one's new. That's kind of, you've seen these before. But here's the catch here. When you go in here and you want to look at what it's run off of, just oil. You don't have to have gas for this. And it has the same kind of reach as a regular generator. And it's a pleasing bubbling brook sound, not the grindy hum of the metal generator down there. This one doesn't make any sound. So if you turn this off, just a little crackle, and it does the exact same thing. It's just 2 versions of the same thing, and it also runs off of oil, and it will power all your devices, whether they're primitive or not. It'll power the stuff over there just like it would power the primitive devices. Okay, so next up is the primitive fabricator. There you go. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Get your little torches there. We're gonna get another storm. Are you kidding me? Okay, are we done now? Another storm path. Good gravy. All right, so this is a fabricator, and you have all the things that you would typically find in a fabricator. So again, much better look. I think the aesthetic for a primitive is, this is really cool. Okay, now moving on, we have a grill. Again, it costs the same to make it, but it just looks so much cooler. And you know, we can drop some meat in there and cook it right up, and we're good to go. So it works just like the industrial grill. It just looks more fitting to a primitive type build. There is another option, which is this kettle. Does the exact same thing. Depends on how much room you have in your base, which one might work better for you. Then we have the cooker. So instead of 2 big metal drums, you get this nice pleasant fireplace with crackling, and it makes the same stuff. So you got your soups and you got your kibble. Everything is in here. So yeah, good stuff, huh? Next is your alchemy table, which is the same as a chem bench. Turn that on, and you can make all the things that you can make in a chem bench. Same kind of ratios, again, same crafting requirements basically, but just get a cooler look. It really does fit the vibe that I like to play in. This is the metal forge. So instead of having that big sucker there in my base, I can have this. It cooks just as fast, and there's nothing to complain about here. It just works amazing. And then we have a refrigerator. Anybody who's played Atlas, they might recognize this, but yeah, look at the difference. So much cooler. Holds 300 slots of stuff. So lots of things, and I mean, it's just works just like the regular refrigerator. This is the air conditioner. When it's working, I mean, it's powered now and it's working. but a lot of times you'll see like the fronds moving back and forth. There is this thing here that says place a battery in here to power. And does it say that on the regular one too? Yeah. You don't have to put a battery in it. It just works. It doesn't make any noise. It just works. Now I'll go back over here. One thing I forgot to talk about on the QLL. See, this is the vanilla one. If I make it go away, look how much quieter that is. In fact, that's not what's making the noise. This is. So if you want silent ACs, QLLs, ACs, or the primitive ACs, either one works and doesn't make a lot of racket. Just like all these other crafting stations, they don't blow your ears out when you're running them. All right, so, and then we have, this is the storage box. This is basically a wooden vault. Look how much, 300 slots, 300 in a storage box. Another wonderful addition, and you know, you can do these just like you do the regular storage boxes and stack them sideways and do all that kind of stuff, but it looks so cool. It's got a little stuff on top of it. Yeah, I like it. I like it. It works. It just works for the type of build that I like to do. So that's the number one. This is Primitive Crafters, and this is Primitive Station. So if you're looking for this kind of vibe in your base, or if you're maybe a role player and this is working for you, this is really cool. Now let me show you something that I mentioned with the QOL stuff. All right, so let's make it dark. Okay, we are now dark. Look at how much light that puts out. Look how much light these put out. Holy smokes. It lights up the whole area. And if you get near it, it's blinding. If you're inside, it's no bueno. Look at that. And honestly, if you have your base lit up by this and you're flying in, it looks like the whole thing suddenly bursts into flames. Let's turn that off. It's just too bright. It hurts my eyes. Where this stuff doesn't, and you can set these torches all over the place, and you can even set them into walls. You just gotta kind of play around with it a little bit, and you don't have to worry about putting the stuff in there. There's nothing turning it on and off, so you can leave it running all the time. Same with if you have that in there in a room, and this in a room, and this around, you got all the lights you need to see by. It just looks much homier, I think, than the bright lights or the fluorescent style lights, and the sound is much more pleasing than the constant fluorescent hum of the generator that's down there or the tech generator up here. There you go, 10 mods that you can use on your server if you've got a server that you got running, or single player, either one. I'm going to start running these in the single player game that I have, Blister in the Sun, so the next episode we'll be placing some of these down in the base. But look forward to seeing that. I hope this gives you some information that you can use in your gameplay. If modding is something that's new to you, then they're really easy to install. You just go to the mod page, find one you like, and hit install, and then select that. If it's a single player, if it's a server, then you'll need to make sure that that's installed through your server software. But yeah, change your game up. Make it something that you really enjoy playing. As frustrating as Ark can be, I still enjoy playing it. That's all I've got for now. I hope this helped you out. If it did, make sure you leave a like. I really appreciate that. It does wonders for the algorithm. It gets my videos out there for more people to see. And hey, if you like the stuff that I've been putting out, make sure you drop by and subscribe to the channel. We have a Discord. The link is in the description below. You can come out to Discord, hang out with the OGs. We've got some Conan servers up. We have Ark Ascended up for Scorched Earth right now. Center's coming out. I'm planning on having a center server as well, and we'll cluster those together. We'll see. One way or another we'll do it. And hey, come out and play with the OGs. It's a great group of people. They always enjoy helping new players out and hanging out with some veterans too. So it's all PvE. We don't do PvP servers. I just don't need the drama. So it's a relaxed environment to play in. All right, well, thank you so much for coming out. I really do appreciate it. I'm blown away by the support we get in the channel and the Discord and everything else. So I just want to say thank you, and it really does mean a lot to me. All right, well, y'all take care, stay safe, be good to each other, and until next time, this is Yuli signing out.